Thanks for tuning in to BVN for today's President's Lecture right here in Alamo City at St. Philip's College. Right here for today's President's Lecture. And I'm here with today's guest speaker. You know him as in the mini-series on Alex Haley's Roots. You know him on Star Trek and also Reading Rainbow. Actor, director, producer, Mr. LaVar Burton. How we doing, sir?
You hit it on all cylinders. you did it all.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy to be here in San Antonio today, here at St. Philip's College for the President's Lecture Series. It's been a great day.
Yeah, what does it feel like to to have such a young crowd and audience of college students at one of the most prestigious and oldest schools right here in the country,
right.
St. Philip's College. Right. 175 years, if I'm not mistaken. It's been around, so close to that. So we got some people in the back saying
118.
Yeah, 118. 118 years.
But it's an historically black college, and it's really, a bastion in this nation for higher education and a real piece of history right here. So I'm happy to be here. And I love being on college campuses. There's a whole generation of Americans that grew up on Reading Rainbow, and they are college age and matriculating now into the workforce. So it's always great for me to be out there amongst the Rainbow Nation. It's all good.
Good. Also, I want to touch on also for me as a young kid growing up in Detroit, Michigan, coming from a background of educators. My grandmother was a principal at an elementary school for 30-something years.
Right.
And what was it like being a college student, landing a leading role in Roots at such a young age in college and landing that role? What was it like?
Roots was not just my first job, it was my first professional audition. It was, I don't think I have words really to express the sense of importance that Roots and playing Kunta has taken on in my life. Kunta Kinte has become an international symbol for the indomitable nature of the human spirit, and I'm enormously proud of that. We are remaking Roots now for this new generation. There's a whole generation of Americans who haven't seen the original, and so for them we have remade it, and it will be airing this summer. On the networks of A&E. We've got Forrest Whitaker and Lawrence Fishburne. Anika Noni Rose, and a young man named Malachi Kirk, who plays Kunta Kinte, who is going to take the country by storm. I'm really, really proud of him.
I don't know if a lot of people know from that role too, it also made you kind of like the poster kid for a lot of different racial equality. And what was that like being a poster kid too after playing that role?
Well, like I said, I was young. I was 19, and so that has taken some growing into, and it's nothing that I think about consciously every day. But like I said, I acknowledge that people all over the world have seen Roots, and every place that Roots has aired, the response has been the same. We are able to see ourselves, no matter who we are, where we're from, what our background is. We are able to see ourselves in the story of that young African boy who was captured and enslaved. So it is an enormous part of my life and my legacy, and it makes me and my family very proud.
Yes, sir. And then also shifting gears, going on to the set for Star Trek for so many years, too, playing a lieutenant. And what was that like being on that set too also, and just kind of from the William Shatners, the Leonard Nimoys, and then going into that series of that Star Trek and those episodes? What was it like?
I was a big Star Trek fan growing up. I love science fiction, and Gene Roddenberry's vision of the future was one where people of color were embraced, and so I certainly embraced it. Star Trek was an amazing experience. We did 8 years together and 4 movies. We continued to be very close, a very close-knit family. When I got married, Brent Spiner was my best man. My groomsmen were Patrick Stewart, Jonathan Frakes, and Michael Dorn. So we have been there for each other and have seen one another through births and divorces, and in Patrick's case, many divorces, but we've always been there and will always be there for each other. We're family, and that is the best thing about that experience for me, is the relationships that I have with people.
Yeah, and let's shift gears to Reading Rainbow. Also, Reading Rainbow, and I know that also you're doing something online now too. Let's talk a little bit about what you're doing now, that with the online presence and how effective it is.
Television was the technology that we used in the 80s to reach kids. It was an experiment back in the 80s to see if we could actually meet kids where they were and then take them where we wanted them to go. In the 80s, it was no secret that America's kids were hanging out in front of the television set, and it was an opportunity of access that led us to want to try and use this very powerful medium to steer kids back in the direction of literature and the written word. So if you want to reach kids today, you need to be in the digital realm. Television is only one screen that this generation uses during the course of any given day. So we wanted to move what was a successful television show into this new digital realm, and beyond the devices that these kids want to be on. So we are an app. We're on the web at readingrainbow.com, and we have just completed a product designed specifically for teachers to use in the school. It's part of our Kickstarter initiative, Every Child Everywhere. We are about to deploy a Reading Rainbow product for teachers to use in the classroom, which we think is really important. We feel like we have, like the television series, a piece of the puzzle of how we continue to not just educate our kids, but help them achieve their full potential.
Well, Mr. Burton, it's been an honor. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us here at Black Video News.
Your BVN. Why would I not? BVN.
Well, thank you so much, and I want to wish you a happy early birthday too. I know your birthday's in 5 days.
Yes, it is.
So I want to wish you a happy birthday as well, and thank you for taking the time out again to talk to us. This has been a special report right here at St. Philip's College, right here in the Alamo City for today's President's Lecture, and I'm right here with none other than Mr. LaVar Burton, Keith Scott, Black Video News.